Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's October 5, 2022. Yet another Wednesday. And I am still in Colorado, and it is sunny today. It is fall, though. Oh, here, I have a picture for you. I was down in New Mexico this weekend, and the leaves were amazing. I have to see if I can get up to some Colorado color changes this weekend, because they are all changing here also, and pretty soon they'll all be gone. Welcome from all over, you all. Connecticut and New York, Kirkland, Washington, Jennifer from a beautiful place in California. Karen made it from Massachusetts, yay! Jocelyn from Whidbey Island. Sybil from Switzerland, from the sheep country. You've been in Ireland. That's fantastic. Sounds really fun to me. Judy from Vancouver. Julia from Germany, where the leaves are changing. I bet it's beautiful there. The forests of Germany are gorgeous. Leslie from Vermont. Oh my gosh. Vermont has the best colors. Kansas City. Hi, Betsy. And San Diego. Welcome, Barbara. And Marlena from Texas. Marlena says she's jealous about my trip to Taos, which was a complete spur-of-the-moment thing. I am not often a spur-of-the-moment person, so, but it was somebody's birthday, not mine. And we had friends that were in New Mexico, so I'm going to show you some of what I brought back from Taos today. It was a fun trip, and I got to... So the first weekend of Taos used to be the Taos Wool Festival, and this year it was moved to Santa Fe. I did not go to Santa Fe, but there was an alternative pop-up shop that Taos Wools did, which was wonderful. So I haunted Joe Barry's churro wall and went back and looked at those tapestries a few times. That was really fun. Hi, Carol from Maine, and Barbara from Bainbridge in Washington. So, here's the picture of me with some fleece at the pop-up show. This tapestry with the sheep in it is by Connie Taylor, and I'm holding a fleece in one hand, which is actually behind me. This room smells like sheep today. And some roving in the other hand. So I might have gone back another time to buy some more, because I started spinning it that night and the roving, and realized that it was going to be perfect for the class I'm teaching in a couple weeks. So I bought enough for some students. So if you're in one of my classes at SOAR, if you're in the intensive, you're going to get to try some churro. I don't know if anybody here is coming to SOAR, but it's in the end of October. Spin-off Autumn Retreat. Anyway, this tapestry is by Connie Taylor, who is amazing woman. She is a churro sheep breeder. She breeds other sheep now also. Has been for decades. In 2005, when I was taking classes at Northern New Mexico Community College in Rio Grande tapestry weaving, I bought churro from Connie for my Saltillo project. And she was able to breed churro sheep. If you know anything about sheep or churro, 14 natural colors of churro. Completely mind-blowing. Just going to see her flock was amazing. It was like a rainbow of natural colors. She had lots of brown ones, which is a recessive gene in churro sheep. So she's able to breed for brown. Any of you who I don't know if anybody saw the HGA talk yesterday. I'm just going to plug this because it was amazing. HGA, Hand Weavers Guild of America, does textiles and tea. I think their website is maybe handweaversguildofamerica.org. Anyway, every Tuesday they do textiles and tea. And yesterday it was Venancio Aragon's talk, and he is a Navajo weaver from the Farmington area of New Mexico. He talked a lot about sheep and his amazing work over the last few decades. He also talked a lot about culture and where the Navajo art comes from. And it was just a fascinating look at the differences in how we think about what art is and that kind of thing. So I'm pretty sure they'll put that recording up sometime this week. I think they have a YouTube channel where they put all the textiles and teas. So there should be a link on their website. Go watch that talk from October 4, Venancio Aragon. Okay. Oh, Elaine's here. Yay. She's going to be at my SOAR class. That's great, Elaine. I can't wait. I did see your name on the list. So fantastic. Okay. So hope y'all are doing well. It's another Wednesday. I will be back on October 19, which is 2 weeks from today. And then somehow I managed that because the next week I'll be teaching at SOAR. So hi, Hilly from the Netherlands. Fantastic. So today I brought show and tell of what I found in Taos and some other just interesting things. Even if you're not a spinner, it's really interesting to understand what makes a good tapestry yarn. Those of you who were in my yarn class last week or the week before, whenever it was, thanks for that. And I hope to see more of what you're playing with there. Oh my goodness, Julie, 3 a.m. You must be in Australia or somewhere down in that part of the world. That is committed, or you couldn't sleep. So welcome. Yes, so Taos Wools is run by Joe Barry, and he doesn't pay me to say any of this. I just love what he's done with churro because I am from New Mexico, if you don't know this. So I show my very first tapestries I showed at Weaving Southwest when Rachel Brown was still alive, and then her granddaughter Teresa Lovelace took over Weaving Southwest, and I showed there and sold a lot of pieces for quite a few years. And then she closed the gallery and shop, or she moved it a few times and then eventually it closed. Anyway, Joe Barry did the dyeing for Weaving Southwest for quite a while, and then a few years ago he started his own business dyeing churro that he gets from Connie Taylor, who's the woman I talked about, who knows all about churro. The sheep, I think she's getting the churro from different growers, largely on the Navajo reservation now. She's not growing all of those sheep herself, but really beautiful yarn. So that is my backstory. I went down there to harass Joe for a weekend and got some churro and looked at all the tapestries he had in a sort of a pop-up show. So it's not there anymore. It was just there for the weekend, but he will do it again. So if you're in Taos, contact Taos Wools and find out if they're doing a show at any point, because he knows all the local artists. Good. Naya saw the presentation I was talking about, Venancio Aragon, yesterday. Again, go watch that. Handweavers Guild of America. Oh, cool. Kathleen's going to use a drop spindle. I brought my spindle. This is what I'll just show it to you right now. I was, by the way, I found these little plastic things. They're really light. I got them so that I could travel with spindles, but they come in different shapes. I have to say it works quite well because you can put, a spindle in there and some fleece. I'm kind of pleased with them. They're fairly tough. They've got like little rubber caps on them. Anyway. Here's my drop spindle. Oh, you guys are going to ask me what this is. I got it from the Woolery, but I'm going to have to look up what the spindle is. Spins great. Really like it. I actually like top whirl spindles. Venancio yesterday was talking about none of this top whirl stuff, but I really like the top whirl spindles. I actually have a middle whirl spindle that I also like. Anyway, this is churro that I'm spinning in my little drop spindle. So if you're coming to SOAR, you can bring a wheel, but I don't actually have a travel wheel, so I'll be bringing some spindles. All right. Yes, I should also say about Joe's colors. Well, I'll show them to you and then I'll tell you. I do know, Jessica's asking, do they participate in the Shave 'em to Save 'em program? I don't know, Jessica. That's a great program. I know a little bit about it, not as much as I should, but There's quite a few different Navajo-led co-ops, a couple different ones that have been formed in recent years that are working on giving Navajo shepherds fair prices for their fleece. And so Rainbow Co-op is one of them, and Menencio talks about that in his video. I really like those. I mean, I would support them if you can. I mean, they just don't have enough yarn for all of us who want to buy their yarn, but it's a way for the Navajo shepherds to finally get paid for the fleece that they are growing. Do you say that they grow sheep? You grow fleece, right? I mean, the sheep grow the fleece anyway. Marlena, these are called viewtainers, and I think that's in their URL, but if you Google it, they come in different. I have short, squatty ones for my little Turkish spindles. So that's great for traveling because then I don't break them. Betsy, you can spin your top whirl spindles with your feet. You are amazing. I usually spin it on my leg, but it never occurred to me to try to spin it with my feet, and now I'm going to have to try it. Okay, so let me show you, I'll just show you some of Joe's stuff, and then if we have time, I am going to start a sample. Those of you who are in my yarn class last month now already, September, I promised you a sample of Jameson jumper weight tapestry, and I have not started it yet, so if I make it public on Change the Shed, I'm sure I will get that sample done soon. Okay, where's my other camera? Okay, so here is my haul from Joe and Taos Wools and Taos, and I have a couple other things here, but this is hopefully you can see this. I've brought a lot of different things, and the light's not fantastic, is it? This is his Chica weight, and I have several colors of this, 3 colors. This is the lightest weight churro, and so this works beautifully for tapestry. It's, I'm gonna see if this will focus if I zoom in a little bit. It's beautiful for tapestry. I think a lot of you have used it. And so his colors are hand dyed, and so you can even see in this skein how it's a little bit variegated. That is part of the charm of hand-dyed yarn, and it's beautiful in tapestry. So Joe is hand-dyeing all of this with, he does some natural dyes. These are synthetic dyes. And then let's see, which one will you be able to see the best? Here's the Chica, and this is the Manta weight, is a little bit heavier. So this is something you'll see in the Southwest a lot. It's called blanket weight is often, or sometimes it's called tapestry weight. So it's like a light worsted weight. Is that right? Yeah. A super light worsted weight yarn would be this blanket weight. And then the Chica is less than that. This is, gosh, could that even be right? This says it's 225 yards for 4 ounces, and this is 400. So this would be 1,600 yards per pound, and so I might use 2 strands of the Chica. Some of you will know what you usually use, but 2 strands of this at 8 EPI, and I would probably just use 1 of the blanket weight. And then he also has rug yarn. If you want to weave rugs, he's got hand-dyed. This is super bulky. Big spun, great for rugs. And then this was just for me. I got some of his, he now has some sock yarn, knitting yarn, which is good when he does shows. Let's see if this will focus. Come on. There we go. It has, hang on. Well, it's merino wool and bamboo, so it's great for knitting. This would not be something I would use for tapestry, but I thought it was really pretty. It's so soft. I'm going to make a shawl out of that. All right. So let me move those and show you the fleece I got. Oh, here, first I'll show you what it looks like. This is a raw fleece I got from Connie Taylor. It is a brown churro. Brown is kind of a rarer color. It's recessive, and so they're breeding for it more often. And so this I bought, actually don't know if it's a whole fleece because I haven't opened it yet, but it was just a couple pounds. Churro are not that big, so I don't think it would be unusual that one of their fleeces would only be 2 pounds, but it'll be interesting to see how this washes up. And the undercoat is very soft. So churro is a dual coated fleece. Like this is an example of Icelandic, which I might have showed you something like this when I came back from Iceland. Dual coated fleece. So the undercoat is short and softer, and the outer coat is long and coarser, and the same thing happens with churro. And then here's a fleece I got at Estes Park Wool Market, another churro fleece, and you'll see that the staple is much longer. Connie shears, or she was talking about shearing twice a year, that a lot of times they shear twice a year, and this might be a twice a year shearing, and this may be a once a year shearing, which would be the difference in the length. Anyway, this one is from Jerry McGibney at Valley of the Winds, where, let's see, where's Loveland. So this is a local churro. And this is from somewhere in New Mexico probably, and this is Icelandic. And I'm making a mess of my table. Let's see. Okay. I did also pick up some churro when I was in Gallup. The last time I was there, I can't even remember when it was. This is churro yarn from Weaving and Beauty, and it's quite lovely. They also dye this themselves, and it's quite variegated. You can see that both of these have a big variation in color. I've not woven either of these yet, but they are, I don't even have a yardage on these, but I think this is the thinnest that they make, and I think it's around the same as the Chica. But the reason I grabbed that bag was because here is some of the roving from Connie Taylor, and I was just interested that the roving I got in Gallup is much softer. It's just there's a big variation in how the length of the fleece, and if they're how much of the top coat they have, and all of that. Anyway, the other thing I was going to show you is, before I lose all of you because you don't want to hear about spinning fiber, that came in white and brown also. So those of you coming to SOAR, I've got a little bit of brown, not a ton. I've got some white. I've got the most off-white. We'll make some tapestry yarn. So this is for SOAR. Hard to find braids of sheep that I want to use for tapestry. So Into the World, I love Into the World, and they are always sold out. So I do have a little bit of Jacob and the most Cheviot. And I did get able to get one skein of Corriedale. So we'll see how that pans out. In the SOAR classes, we are spinning for tapestry weaving. I am not teaching spinning. I am teaching how to weave, but we have to have something to spin with. Yeah, so the Cheviot is, can you see this? About that long, which is a nice staple length for tapestry weaving. All right. That's just my yarn fun. Thanks, Sarah. It's fun to, yeah, I need to wash some fleece. So Sarah Sweat has a fabulous fleece washing method, and Jillian Moreno has recently been testing out different ways to wash fleece. So I have to look up you guys' recommendations. I've been using the Dawn dish soap in the bathtub method for a while, but I need these fleeces to keep some of their lock formation. So I'm going to try a couple different things to see if we can keep it a little more intact without like wrapping the locks in tulle, because I'm not that dedicated to you SOAR people. Sorry. But there are a couple of things I'm going to try. So we'll see if I can wash the fleece without losing all the locks. All right, everybody, let's, oh, yeah, never mind. I have a little, need to do another sample. So if you guys don't have any questions about any of that, I will start this. See if you can see that. I have some Jameson yarn that needs to be sampled. So let me... Oh, I forgot I had... Here's the best. This is the best yarn I ever spun for Tapestry, and it's not great. I probably shouldn't show you this because Sarah's watching. I actually did a full worsted prep where I bought a local Corriedale mix fleece and dyed the fleece and then carded a whole bunch of different colors together and then combed it. Wait, what did I do? I said card. I did not card. Dyed the fleece, combed it, kept it in lock formation. That was like a monster, like wrap it in tulle when you wash it thing. Combed it to make 14 colors or something and spun it. I still show that all the time because I'm the most proud of it. Took forever. Okay, so Jameson and Smith, Tapestry yarn, jumper weight. I talked about this a lot in my yarn, not a lot, but I mentioned it in the yarn class. And I need to do a sample of it. So I am using, let's see, you can see this, it's a Laney loom, Mirex Laney loom with Shasta combs on it. I've been doing the samples on these because they're so fast to warp. So I want to put a little, the other thing I've been doing is weaving all the way at the bottom because you know how much I love a long loom. Thank you, Sarah Sweat, for supporting that. So I've been doing these little things where I actually use the little loops at the bottom and it makes like this tiny little picot thing. It's real cute. I like it for a sample anyway. And then I'm doing a braid at the top. These samples are fast, so I'm not doing for selvage warping because I just need them to be done, but it's a quick way to do them. So what I don't have, I have warped this loom, but what I don't have is the header. And I bet you're gonna wish that this went down farther. Or I'm going to. Maybe you can see. So I'm gonna put a double half hitch row at the bottom, just like I did on this one. So this, it has the loops, but then there's a double half hitch and that holds it firmly so that the weaving doesn't sag down into those extra loops of warp. I want it to be firm. I want the sample to be an actual sample of what the yarn's gonna feel like. This is Briggs & Little Sport, which is one of the ones I sampled for that class. So cone holder. Look at this. My grandfather made this for me years and years ago. And my grandma wrote my name on it because my grandma wrote somebody's name on everything. It's my weaving grandma. So I need 1, 2, 3. Takes about 5 times the width of your warp to do the double half hitch header, and I always have extra. Oh, hi Marlena. She's asking about this braid. I can look up which classes it's in, Marlena. It's in like at least half of my online classes. There's almost always in the bonus section. I have a video of how to do that braid. I can't remember for sure off the top of my head which classes, but almost all, at least half of the techniques classes, maybe all the techniques classes have that in it. I want the warp to be tight. You can't see that on the camera. I'm tightening the wing nuts on this. So this is a Lanny loom with extenders on it. I think you saw me weaving on this a few weeks ago. Oh no! I thought this loom was all ready to go, but it's not. Who wants to see me put heddles on? Anybody? Anybody? I thought this loom was ready to go, but it is not. There are no heddles on there. Let's do the half hitches and then we'll see what time it is. So I'm gonna do the half hitches near the bottom of the loom, and then I'm gonna push them all the way to the bottom. It's just I agree, Sarah. We've got see, I have too much stuff on the screen. The looped edge, super quick. It's pretty, and I still get a nice shed. So yes, that is all of my goals. The shed is important. Okay, so I was just doing handouts for SOAR and realized that I always tell people it's hard to explain how to space these little knots, but it's like a thumbnail thing. I'm spacing it right there. Maybe I'll use this as a clip for the workshop. Pull it tight. Nana's doing the same thing. I assume you mean the double half hitches, Nan, on her hook it loom as I'm doing this. Okay, I could show you how I'm doing this a little bit more clearly. Just for fun. I'm sorry this camera's so high, but I think you'll still be able to see. It's just a loop this way, around behind and under, and then you do that again. A loop this way, around and under, pull it down, pull it tight. I'm gonna zoom out and maybe keep the camera from continually trying to focus. Clearly, I was so excited this morning about the fleece that I forgot to check and make sure that I had put the heddles on this loom. Not that I can't weave without the heddles, of course you can. You can just whack a shed stick in there for a open shed rod, and this is just 8 ends per inch. The Shasta combs that are on this loom are work best at 8 ends per inch, so anytime I use them, it's almost always 80 psi. Or you could do 16, but yeah. I would use I would choose something different if I were doing 16 EPI. Hope you all are doing some weaving lately. Or dyeing, those of you who are in my acid wool dyeing class. I will be dyeing this week, so you'll see some of that on the social medias, I think. And if you're in the dye class, I will show you what I'm doing. Ever have those moments where someone's watching you do something and you wish you had just prepped it just a little bit more? This is one of those. Oh, thank you. Riveting 77 says the braid class is in the... I thought it was in the Little Looms class. I was pretty sure about that. If you're in a version of Warp and Weft and you don't see the video, please ask in the class and I will add the video there. I'm fairly sure it's in the introduction class. Introduction to Tapestry Weaving. And I know it's in at least Design Solutions too, because we talked about it when I interviewed Connie Lippert, the wedge weaver. She uses that braid for this little braid is what we're talking about. It is also in Peter Collingwood's Techniques of Rug Weaving book, which is originally where I think most of us got that technique. Can't remember who first showed that to me, if it was Tommy Scanlon or somebody else. My teacher always used a hemmed header, but for small things, especially samples, I really like the braid. For small things, it's hard to get a hem that is really consistent, so that's why either a braid like that or the fringeless warping, where you don't have any hems or anything, is great. Really small things, my favorite is the fringeless for sure, and this size would be great. If this were an actual tapestry, I would be doing a 4 selvage warp. Oh great, thanks. Judy says the braid is also in the intro class. Appreciate that, you guys. Yay. I was hoping you guys were weaving, and someone said they're weaving transparency samples, so probably from the color gradation class. Wove a lot of transparency samples. Oh, cool. Verena says she moved to Colorado and is using local plants for dyeing. Rabbit brush. Probably you mean chamisa, maybe? I think it's colloquially called rabbit brush. It is in full bloom right now. If you have an allergy to chamisa, you are probably sneezing if you live in the Southwest. How about using the double half hitch instead of twining in the beginning and end of a big weaving? Sure, you could totally do that, Naya. I don't do it because my fabric is fairly thin and I don't want, the knots are thicker than the twining, but if you're doing a hemmed header and you want, the knots are really stable, you could totally use those instead. I would just do a sample so you know whether you like it or not. Let's see. Should have made these a little farther down. So I want to push this to all the way to the bottom. And had I put them closer to the bottom to start with, it would have been easier. I want them tight enough that they'll hold, but that makes them pretty hard to move. Oh, great, Marlena. Yeah, they're in there somewhere. If you can't find them, just holler. I'll locate them. So Sarah says she's putting on a fringeless warp. I can't believe you let your hands go long enough to type, Sarah. You're doing the supplemental warp on the bottom. That fringeless that I'm talking about is actually taught by Sarah Sweat. So it's an online class that is on my platform, and she and I put this class together. And you'll hear me yah-yahing in it somewhat about a couple things, but most of the teaching is Sarah. She's amazing. It's a really fun class. Okay, I got it. Woohoo! All right, since I don't have the petals on here, let's use a shed stick. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Hard to type and keep the tension. Oh, one hand. I guess that works. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I think it's often called, Verena, I think it's often called rabbit brush. And I'm not even 100% sure it's the same thing, but I'm pretty sure that that's what a lot of people who live in New Mexico call chamisa rabbit brush. It doesn't matter what it's called. We know what you're talking about. Mary Walker at Weaving and Beauty taught her how to do the dyeing. If you're ever in Gallup, go to Weaving and Beauty because it's an amazing place. And you should visit there if you're interested in weaving of any kind. Also, I grew up in Gallup and I'm very loyal to Gallup institutions, and Weaving and Beauty has now been there quite a long time, and they're doing great, and that is important. Okay, so let's see if you can see this. So I put a shed stick in because I don't have heddles. So if this is my open shed rod, I'll have to remember not to pull it out. So on this little header, I had the knots, and then I put, I took and then there's 3 picks of warp as weft, just to give it a little extra something there. Okay, see if that'll stay. Then on the way back, I'm just gonna pick this. And I'm gonna tuck that behind. Come on, hands. It's been a little while since I picked a shed. Oh yeah, it's true. Raina was talking about Weaving Southwest moved. I didn't know they were moving. I was also there last before they moved. Sorry, not Weaving Southwest. Weaving and Beauty in Gallup. Moved to a new shop, so I'm curious. Their old shop had a dye place in the back. They also do rug restoration. So if you have Navajo textiles or older textiles that need help for whatever reason, they have people who do restoration, as in like they'll reweave portions, like if you had moth damage or something, or broken warps, or they do some amazing stuff. So okay, so see, I just pulled down my open shed rod, and now I can put this back in. This is the 3rd one, so what I want is to bring this all right. I'm gonna weave this from the front, so I'm gonna put those in the back. And then I'm ready to go. I've got, let's see. These are the colors that I have located so far of Jameson jumper weight. So got a couple greens, a couple reds, a couple mixed. I feel like I have a few more colors, so I'm going to go hunt for those. Not right this second. And then I will weave that sample, and I will hopefully be done with it by the time you see me again, so you don't have to watch me weave it. when Paula asked, when removing your finished piece from the loom, do you loosen the tension since your bottom hem is tight to the chastecombe? Yeah, I do that anyway. I mean, usually, sometimes I just cut it. So it's not a for salvage. So the top, I just cut the warp. But it's, if you loosen the tension on the loom before you cut the warp, it won't do crazy poppy things. So yeah, I usually loosen the tension on a Murex when I'm taking anything off, even if it's a continuous warp. But yes, it's fairly tight to the bottom, so I cut the top first and then just sort of inch it off of those metal combs. It works pretty well. Okay. Great. I don't think I missed anybody's question. Yeah, Jessica's talking about shave them to save them. I need to look into that more, Jessica. I have a couple friends who are do a lot with shave them to save them. So it's all about sheep preservation. I follow Clara Parks a lot. She's works a lot on making wool important again. So if you haven't read her books, you should read Vanishing Fleece. Amazing book, really fun to read. It's a great story. She's a good writer. So Clara Parks, Vanishing Fleece, great read. Definitely, definitely fun to. It's a story of she bought a bale of fleece and then was seeing how it goes through the wool processing. How wool processing works in the United States. It sounds dry, but it's really great. It's a fun read. All right, everybody. Anybody have any other questions? You're just hanging out today. Oh, that's a great question. Have you sampled Harrisville watershed yarns? Yes. Have I? No. I'm thinking of Nightshade. So they have a yarn called Nightshade, which is, I love the concept. It's black and with a little bit of other colors of fleece in it. It's quite beautiful. I've wanted to knit a sweater or something with it for a long time. And I did try it for Tapestry, and it's very soft. It's a different structure than Highland, and I didn't like it for Tapestry. I thought it was super bouncy. I have not used their watershed yarns. So I will, next I get a chance, next time I'm in Harrisville, I will take a look at some of their other yarns. They had a mill flood last year, which I didn't actually realize. That was so much of our supply chains, because of COVID, were messed up. But they actually had a mill flood, which is the reason why you've had trouble if you use Harrisville Highland or Shetland. Or even Kohler singles. It's the reason they've been hard to get. They had to actually move their mill to a different building. So they are back up and running. Hopefully they will have Harrisville, Highland, and all those other yarn colors coming soon. But they're, it's a small mill. They only can run so much at a time. So anyway, great company. I love what they do. Peace Fleece, I've also looked at. That's another yarn they do, which comes from Rambouillet and other yarn from the Western United States. They source all the yarn from the US. So that's a great yarn to use. I think it would be really nice to weave blankets with. I also think it's too puffy for Tapestry, but just my opinion on that. Awesome. Thanks y'all for putting up with my fleece fun. I had a lot of fun getting churro. Churro can be hard to find, and so just buying a churro fleece can be tough. I found this white one at Estes Park Wool Market, and it's already washed, but it's a little bit, I might have some trouble spinning it because it feels like it's a little bit, I don't want to say felted, but it feels like it's gonna be a little bit hard to spin. So I might need to comb it or something. Although if I comb it, it'll separate the two coats, and that'll be a problem, and I have to figure out what to do about that particular fleece. I think this one is going to be great. This half-year churro I just got from Connie Taylor. I don't know whose sheep it was, but... Oh, that's good. I think this is about Harrisville. All the back-ordered colors are now out in shipping, so that's cool. They must have been really working hard to catch up on Harrisville. on their back ordered stuff. So yeah, they were way behind. There was a point where I looked at their website and almost none of the colors had any stock at all. So that's great that they're getting back up and running. There's a lot of issues with yarn in the world, everywhere in the world. So support your local shepherds and yarn people and buy wool, please, and not acrylic or plastic or polyester sweatshirts. Maybe they're making some amazing wool sweatshirts now, so try one of those instead of the next time you're tempted to buy a polyester sweatshirt. Yes, Rainbow Fiber Co-op. I was mentioning that, I think, maybe just a moment before you jumped on, Verena. Rainbow Fiber Co-op sells churro. Oh, they sell roving. I didn't know that. I will watch for that. Thank you. I know they have yarn, so I didn't realize they sell roving. I will watch their, they just sheared and stuff again, so they should be having some new products in the next month or so. All right. Well, great to see everybody. I will be back on October 19, and I plan to be weaving a tapestry of some sort on October 19. I just don't know exactly what one it will be. You'll have to come and see. Oh, and Sarah says wool underwear, fabulous. I have a person dear to me who has tried wool underwear lately, and it's also says it's fabulous. I bought a wool dress, and I have since a little kid. I was born in the 70s, and so my mother dressed me in polyester like all good 70s moms did. And so I didn't like wearing wool, but I got one of those wool dresses from Wool and it's great. I love it. So have to get more. As my old clothes fall apart, I will replace them with wool. Okay, great. Yes, I agree, Verena. I'm probably saying your name wrong. I'm sorry. Rainbow Fiber Co-op, I would highly recommend supporting them there. Supporting the shepherds on the reservation directly. So it's an amazing not-for-profit. Okay, thanks you guys. As you notice, I could ramble on forever. So I will say goodbye, and we'll be doing some more weaving in 2 weeks. And that will be fun. In the meantime, keep weaving tapestry, and I will see you later. Bye, everybody.